It's a bright Tuesday morning from our studios here. Welcome to West Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? My name is Omotoshola Sharimaki. And with me is good morning to
Good
you.
morning.
How are
How
you
are
doing
you?
this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I slept well. I think I've been under the weather a lot these days. Maybe it's one of those things that comes with the genotype. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been under the weather a lot these days. But aside that, I'm fine. The sky is blue. The
Say the
waters are white.
guy.
On the island, the water is brown.
Wahala.
Aside that, everywhere is pretty cool. What about you?
I mean, I'm just here basically. Let's see what today has. Tomorrow is my day, literally. So I think I'm just,
Oh, tomorrow is your birthday. Are
yeah.
you for real?
How did you not know that?
Tomorrow is like one of my friends' birthday. Not just my friend, like a very close person's birthday. Oh wow. Caught me unaware. All right, today Tuesday is where we get to talk about trending issues, and today we are going to be talking about something related to the Nollywood industry. But if you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button now, share to family and friends. Today we'll be talking about the behind-the-scenes power dynamics in Nollywood, and to join us later is a producer, a sound designer, and a consultant. I'm very sure you do not want to miss the hot topic for today. Now we go on a quick break to be back with headlines across the globe as West Breakfast continues in a moment. Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Ways Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives.
That empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Ways Breakfast because when the youth speak, the world listens. Ways Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV.
Glad to have you back here. Still on to West Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? And yes, you've not missed too much. We're just starting the program. Now we're going straight to our headlines across the globe where we get to read to you different headlines as it trends in and out of Nigeria. And today we will be reading the Vanguard, the Guardian newspaper and the New York Times. And on the page of the Guardian newspaper, the major headline reads, Nigerians at risk of food crisis as inflation hits new record. Under it, price of food and the percentage difference between March 2024 and June 2024. So the difference, there is a comparison between the prices of food between March 2024 and June 2024. Food inflation rate hit 40.87% in June from May's 40.66%. Then there's at 34.19%. Nigeria's inflation rate highest since March 1996. Interest rates now at 26%. 1 kg of brown rice from 976 naira to 2,500 naira, which is about 156%. 2.5 kg of Irish potatoes from 5,000 naira to 7,800 naira, which is 56%. I beg your pardon. Then the bunch of banana cost, which was 2,800, now goes for 4,500, which is about 61% increase. Abuja yam by 5 piece goes for 10,000 naira before, but now it goes for 22,000 naira, which is about 120% increase. A basket of spinach that goes for 1,500 before now goes for 2,200, which is about 47% increase. The other stories on the Guardian newspaper here, Kiari gives early August promise on Port Harcourt refinery. Pro-Wike lawmakers block for Barra's access to fund. Tinubu may transit minimum wage to NAS next week. Another story here says, again, court bars Bayero for others as monarchs. 16 political parties withdraw from local government polls in Osun State. And about the LGBTQ rights, much ado about some more agreements on the LGBTQ rights. And these and more are the stories on the Guardian newspaper. For more stories, go to the Guardian newspaper. And I will be reading details of the insecurity story, where OPS blames insecurity as food inflation hits 40.87%. Quickly, the organized private sector on Monday has blamed the worsening insecurity in the country for the food inflation, which increased to 40.87% in June 2024, up from 25.25% in June 2023. Data released by National Bureau of Statistics showed that the rise in food prices in June 2024 represents 15.62% points year-on-year increase and a 2.5% rise month-on-month increase. And it also showed that the highest increases in food prices were recorded in millet, gari, guinea corn, yam, water yam, cocoa yam, groundnut oil, palm oil, catfish, dried fish, among others. It's funny how the prices, before we compared 1 year, but now we are comparing June and July. We are comparing between May and June, which is just like a month difference. And if the difference between last month is like ×2 of this month, then it means we are heading to a part of, don't let me use that word, doom or something else. It means we're heading to a part of, but I think later this week we'll be inviting someone to talk about food, the rise of food inflation. What exactly is the cause? Is it the closure of border? Is it insecurity challenges? Is it farmer elder crisis? Is it we ourselves? Because there's a human being factor. But then for more details of the story and then for your own opinion about the story, kindly go to our YouTube channel to drop your comment.
All right, so let's quickly fly over to the New York Times, right? Major headline of the newspaper has gunman's motive sought as Trump vows to go to the RNC. While the left side has FBI finding few red flags on the shooter. Next to that, United States is likely to be re-put further apart. And to that, volunteer firefighter is killed, shielding family from gunfire rather. Then next to that, we have Secret Service would face review and assess convention security. The last headline has TV's clown print of fitness kept us sweating. All right, let me touch a bit on the FBI finding few red flags on the shooter. Federal investors are trying to understand why Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old nursing home employee, attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump at the rally. Now, Crooks used an AR-15 Star rifle that belonged to his father and had explosive materials in his car. Despite investigating his online presence and phone, authorities haven't found any clear motive, political beliefs, or mental health issues. Crooks was shot and killed by the Secret Service agent shortly after he started firing. The FBI confirmed this. He acted alone, and Attorney General that's Merrick, called the attack an assault on democracy. So, from yesterday's conversation, you understand that what the newspaper was saying yesterday was how what's his name now? How the rally was stopped. The what's his name? Trump how Trump's rally was stopped due to the whole firing thing. So today they are just talking about a bit of the person, the individual himself that shot at Trump, right? So they are just wondering, okay, why are you doing this? They checked his mental health; it was stable. They checked his all his documents to see if there could be a link on why or reasons why he would want to take down Trump. But they haven't found a reason yet. So I think all fingers crossed. At least let's even know why. If we're coming from the aspect of maybe nobody sent him, but at least why did he do it, right? And now the irony of it is we cannot ask someone that is already dead because literally he got fired as well, right? So it's more like, okay, we are just checking around to see what we can actually find to hold and say, okay, maybe this is because of this, So literally, that's what it is.
I appreciate the fact that they are not just ending the case at the fact, okay, that the shooter was killed. They are trying to find reasons. Was he sponsored? Was he sent by an opposition? Or did he have like a personal issue with Donald Trump? Or is he mentally derailed? Because one thing they do not joke with over there is mental health, psychological health. So I appreciate the fact that they didn't just sweep the case under the carpet, considering if okay, he has been killed. But then, like you said, all fingers crossed, all eyes on the election. Yes, all eyes on the election. Yes, for more details of this story and more, kindly go to our different social media platforms to pass your comments and let us know what you think about it. We'll go on a quick break right now to bring back our guests as we are going to be talking about the power dynamics of parts also in the Nollywood industry. Don't you go anywhere. Waste Breakfast continues in a jiffy. It's a pleasure to have you back here still on to Waste Breakfast hashtag. What are you saying? And as mentioned earlier, we will be talking about the behind the scene power dynamics in the Nollywood industry. I mean, power dynamics refers to how power, authority, and influence are distributed, whether equally or unequally among individuals or groups within a relationship or organization. They shape the interactions and decisions by determining who can influence outcomes and allocate resources. The Nollywood industry, which is the world's second largest film industry, is a vibrant and dynamic space known for its creativity and rapid growth. However, behind every blockbuster movie, there is celebrity endorsement, lies a web of negotiations, alliances, power struggles, and significantly, the influence of the industry and its dealings. And to join us to have this conversation, the dynamics and the implication is an award-winning filmmaker, a content producer, and sound designer. He is the team of the Harvard Digital Sound and operations laid out on Brock's Clan Studios. His name is Miniwon Mutweng. I hope I pronounced this well. Good morning and glad to have you on the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
We actually did not pronounce it well. It's pronounced as Metong Miwan.
Okay, so it means you're from Plateau State. As against China, that I was thinking in my head. All right, I guess we're having a little bit of network glitches, but then we are.
Sorry, I can barely hear you. I think there's sort of like a network issue.
Okay.
But no, I'm not from Plateau State. I'm from River State.
Oh, Wow, interesting. Okay, so we want to talk about the part hustle, the behind the scene going on in the Nollywood industry. And you have been in this field for a couple of years now. All we care about is what goes on our screen, what we see in cinemas, what we're seeing on our different streaming platforms. We don't really care what goes on behind the scene. We don't really care about who did this or how this thing is done, or if there's like a in the 9 to 5 space, there's something called office politics. We don't know if there's like a casting politics or maybe a actor, producer, or director politics. So now, can you explain to us some key players or in major movie deals in Nollywood industry, and then what roles do they play?
All right, that's fine. There are key players, like you said, in the Nollywood industry. They all have their like very important roles. In determining how different products, different film products come out. Those key players are the producers. The roles that they play is they handle the financing, hiring of staff, overall management of the film project from inception to completion. So that's what the producers do. They are like really major power holders, key players in the industry. The other Another key player is the director. Directors basically are responsible for the artistic and creative aspects of the film, including guiding the actors and the crew. They ensure that the film has a certain look or looks the way it does. So the directors are also like really key players in the industry. We also have the screenwriters. They basically create the script, which serves as the blueprint for the movie. Um, Screenwriters are very important, and the value that they bring into the space is very valid. Recently, there has been an outcry from the viewers, from Nigerians and Africans, on the quality of stories that are being developed. And if we have, better developed writers, we have better developed stories. So they're very, important key players in the industry. Another key player that is like very valid are the actors. They basically bring characters to life, attracting audiences with their performances. And we can't undermine their value and importance. They are really, very important when you talk about key players in the industry.
Thank you very much, Mutwing. So
Are you
now,
guys there?
yes,
I hope
yes, we
you
can
know.
hear you. Yes, thank you very
I'm
much.
not I'm not done though.
Oh, okay. Please go
Go
ahead.
on.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. We also have the distributors. They are responsible for getting the film into theaters and other streaming platforms, TV stations. These are also very important key players. And then finally, we have the financiers/investors. They provide the capital for films and for productions. And these are like also very important key players.
Thank you very much. I appreciate how you were able to distinguish and state out
Thank you.
everybody's role and what they do in the entire movie casting. Now, we believe, or let's say we assume that in the Nollywood industry, there are some upper echelon, there are some people that they decide. Do you understand? They are the one that okay, they decide. Now, I like to ask if these people have a part to play when it comes to casting decisions. For instance, you just produced a movie, you just premiered a movie rather, and I feel like there are some people there that suggested or that took a huge decision when it comes to the casting of when it comes to the decision of the actors that casted in this movie, or has it ever happened in any of the movie sets you've worked on that okay, there are some people that you really do not know or that you know that they had a major role in choosing of actors?
Yes, sure. What I would say is, for my film, there were people who influenced what actors that were used to play major roles. And I'll tell you for sure that the streamers, the distributors are part of those who influence. Why? Because as much as we love the act of filmmaking and then, we want to tell brilliant stories. It's also a business venture. So in choosing the cast for our film, we had conversations with our distributor, and then he mentioned that, oh, there are these guys that, irrespective of whatever plans we have made, we should ensure that a certain, well, not necessarily an actor, but okay, who are the guys that you're looking at? Let's look for one of these A-listers. Let's look for one of these guys who basically, have a strong game, because it basically affects how much the film is being sold for. It affects how the audience, it affects the marketing, it affects basically everything. And this is not to take away from performance. So the suggestion is not it's not basically, just saying we need this face, but it's thrown, the ball is basically thrown in your court to decide, oh, okay, who amongst these guys will fit into what I'm trying to do, because it's important for selling the film.
Okay, so I hear you when you say that the
Yeah,
movie.
so that's on the.
Go on. You want to say something? Can you hear us?
Yeah. I wanted to say, okay, that's on the distributor side.
Okay.
The other key player in this, can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
yes.
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. The other key players in deciding who the actors are on a film project are the producers and the directors. So the director, basically sees the story, and then it is permitted to make suggestions on saying, oh, I'd like for this actor to be on the project, because I think, they'll fit the character, or they'll basically be able to work with me to interpret my vision. The other key players are also the producers. There's also like a relationship factor in all of this. Oh, this person can come and play it. This person can come and play it and play it well. Like, I know this person, and then on the producer's angle, because they have to manage the resources, they have to also look at, what's the budget I have, what would he be able to permit in terms of, oh, I might want this actor, but the person, is sort of like way over my budget, and then we have to settle for this other person. So those are some of the players in deciding who the cast will be in, at least major cast in the films.
Godspeed to you. Don't wanted to talk about something the other time. Godspeed to you. Also write scripts for.
Yes, I
yes,
do.
And I'm very sure you've had one or two encounters with them. Would you like to ask from that angle? Because I feel like there's something you like to talk about. You've been
okay. So I think I can actually, what you just said now, it's more like what I want to ask, right? Because I hear you when you say that the movie industry is actually like a business venture and all of these things. But somehow we just find out that, okay, let me use myself for example. As a script writer, right? I feel like I'm paid well. Maybe that's just why I feel. I feel like I'm being paid well. But now you hear the actors. In short, I was speaking to someone yesterday. She is an actor, right? And she was complaining bitterly of how she had to leave the acting space and just go over to the broadcasting space, because she feels like the broadcasting, the media part of broadcasting, they pay well than that of the actors, right? So what do you think can be done? Is it that you use too much money in making a movie, or what? Because I'm trying to understand. If you say, oh, okay, I have this movie, I have this story, I have an interesting scriptwriter, and I want to bring this out to life, right? I want to believe that you have enough to pay everybody across board, both the scriptwriter, down to the director, down to the person producing, down to the actors themselves, right? And now before now you see cases of our actors and Nollywood actors, the ones that had issues with their health and all of those things, and how they were able to probably come out online to come and start asking for money or begging for helps and all of those things because they can't take care of their health system. So it just takes me to, is it that there's not much money in the business? And what do you think can be done in order for them to start making money. Because, I mean, if you look at, again, if you go on social media and you check these people out, they look like people that are making money. They look like they are okay. So how come at the end of the day, you're still hearing cases of, oh, we need 10 million to get this, we need 5 million to get, to have a kidney transplant and all of those things? Can you hear us?
Okay. Thank you very much. Very important question. What I would say is our industries is, as much as it's regarded as the second, biggest producer of movies in the world, we are still at an infancy stage. And this is what I mean. We are the place where the productions are beginning to scale up. Prior to now, you can basically count a handful of productions that have a budget of over $100,000. And then, that basically affects the welfare of everybody on the production, what the budget can afford for, and in all of that, it basically, is what basically the story needs. So when you talk about actors' welfare, I feel like, it's something that has happened in the past because the industry has not been, well structured. I would use, for example, in productions abroad, the budget already, you're looking at $50 million is even a small budget project. $100 million and above, it allows for you to properly, reward your actors, and basically allows for them to make enough to be able to invest and save. But we don't have, we don't have that right now. We don't have the big budgets as much as we would want. And then this affects how much the actors are paid. Say, for example, my film, I paid an actor for to come, just basically play a role for a day over 3 million. You might look at it, as if it's a lot, but in clear terms, they might not be getting that, every day. It might not come in, even sometimes 2 times in a month. And then you look at the expenses on ground. How much do you put into rebranding yourself and all of that? So what it basically is the industry is still growing. Veterans are suffering because they were at the beginning of it, and then things are beginning to improve. Yes, but we're still not there. But intentionally, these are some of the things that we plan to do better in my production companies to ensure that talents are properly rewarded. But the talents themselves owe it to themselves to ensure that when they make monies from these projects, they go back to invest, they go back to do things like health insurance and all of that.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask a practical question, and I appreciate it if you can tie it down to a story or maybe one or two personalities. Now, in the entire Nollywood industry, there's Kannywood, which is movies from the north. There's Abawood. It feels as if there's even Lagos Hood because Nollywood is different. There are those from Aba, people in Aba are different from those in Onitsha or Enugu State. And everybody is a boss or king in their own lane. So how do power dynamics affect the type of stories that they tell in Nollywood? Because left to me, there are type of movies, Nollywood movies that I would not like to see. Right now, movies on YouTube are now getting better. Before, the movies on YouTube are not as good as you going to a proper streaming platform or you going to a cinema. So how does power dynamics, or do I use the word power tussle, affect the type of stories told in the Nollywood space?
Okay. So this is as much as possible, I'm more or less like based in the Lagos industry, even though I've had the opportunity of, traveling, to the east to, the West. I've done trainings on sound design in the East, in that's the Asaba industry, in the Yoruba movie industry in the West, as well as in the Nollywood industry in the North. Power dynamics, how power dynamics, affects Nollywood is, there are different angles you look at it from. Basically, I think one of the most important angles is influence, is basically how that these different industries, basically have their areas of influence. There are people who are focused. The Kannywood industry have their market. They basically cater to people in the North, Islam-speaking countries and beyond. Um, Likewise, the Yoruba movie industry is sort of like a niche industry. Um, Similar, also similar to the Asaba, the industry in the East. And basically, different from what happens, on the streaming platforms and then the the YouTube industry. Basically, one of the most important, ways that power dynamic affects all choices. Basically, what you highlighted are different markets, and in these different markets, there are basically influences. Um, so, for example, you want to tell a well-rounded story, you need to be able to have a balance between, a story that, basically across different regions, say a story, that allows for casts from the north, allows for casts from the east, similarly from the south. Um, and then, it allows for you to be able to tell a story. Take, for example, Funke Akindele's film, uh, the last one she did. If you can help me out with the name, it just keep
I'm
my
trying to
mind.
remember the name as well.
Basically,
Tribe called Judah.
what she was able to do is to, get. Thank you. If you look at what she did there, and then look at the resources, look at the returns from the film, what you can see clearly is the fact that, there's a northern actor represented in there. There is, Timini, who is a big face
Yoruba.
from the
From the
south.
West.
There is, one of the major actor,
This
from the
Igbo
west. There
guy.
is also,
Yes.
an actor from the east, and all of these guys have their, like, yes, yes. Basically, you understand what I'm trying to say. So, because she has that, diversity in her cast, it allows for, all of these people and, the fan base of all of these major casts to, be triggered, to be eager to watch the film. And this is one of the reasons why, she's still the highest grossing, filmmaker in the industry in terms of box office. So this is, basically the market-driven choices is one of the ways that power dynamics, affects the industry.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank God we've spoken about here in Nigeria and the different businesses, right? Still in Nollywood. Now let's talk about a bit about international collaborations. I watched Namaste Wahala, and it was an interesting one, right? Having to see different blends of two different cultures, two different countries coming together to act. Now, what will be the influence? Like, is there a financial influence to it here in Nollywood? Like, how does it impact us here in Nollywood in Nigeria?
Okay, yes. Well, when you say impact us, I want to be clear. Is it impact the industry, or impact the people?
Both ways, right? Both the industry, because I mean, it definitely has to impact the industry financially and all of that, and it also has to impact us too. Because me watching it now, I know the culture of the Indians, I know how they participate, I know how they greet and all of those. So definitely, both the people acting and we that are watching, of course, we are impacted.
Yeah, obviously, like you rightly said, That collaboration is very key between Bollywood and Nollywood. It allows for export of talent. And when I say export of talents, our talents are being recognized there. It allows for, better returns, basically revenue returns for the actors. Um, it allows for also, I would say, cross, culture integration. So we already do have an audience, that watch a lot of Bollywood, and then coming together of Nollywood and Bollywood, is one that would, I wouldn't say even would, is one that has, it has happened a couple of times, and then it has been beneficial in terms of that, we are also, getting to basically understand how they do things, understand how their culture, affects their personality, affects, their economy, affects, their belief system, affects their relationships and every other aspect of the society. So I feel like, that collaboration is one that's, it's important all around. It's important in terms of export of talent. It's important in terms of revenue generation. It's important, in the fact that, the Bollywood, our women, basically audiences have watched, it's interesting to now see that, oh, some of our actors are on it. And then I think, it's the same thing over for them. And yeah, I think it's an interesting one to, watch out for.
Thank you very much. We have to go on a quick break right now. When we return, I want to talk about the difference between the Nollywood industry then, during the time of Uncle Esse, during the time of Mr. Ibu, during the time of old actors, and now we'll not compare to the A-list artists we have, A-list actors rather, that we have right now. We'll go on a short break right now to return with the rest of the program. Please be on standby. Glad to have you back. We are still having the conversation, the part behind the scene power dynamics in the Nollywood industry, and we are still speaking with a sound designer, a producer, and a consultant in the Nollywood industry, in person of Minimon Muoteng. And now we want to dive deeper into this conversation. We understand the fact that Nollywood has changed from what we used to know in the past and what we know right now. Right now, everybody is trying to secure their movie and to secure their future with Nollywood by the use of different streaming platform, bringing it to YouTube, owning a channel, and one or two things. Now, I like to ask, are you with us, please?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. I like to ask that what difference or what mistake did the actors then? We lost a couple of them this year. I mean, their gentle souls rest in peace. What mistakes do you think those actors then made that actors now should avoid or not even try to do at all? Because there's no, I will not mention some top artists, top actors that they were literally on our screens growing up as a child. But now you hear them dying of this cancer, they could not pay their bills, hospital bills, doing crowdfunding for them, which shouldn't be. So what difference, what mistake do you think they did then that should be avoided now?
All right. Yes, like you mentioned, we've had different veterans and legends, struggle with their health, and then trying to seek for crowdfunding to deal with their medical bills, and it's not something that we really want to continue. What I think the actors now need to do differently from the veterans who had gone is, firstly, there are better resources, as against what the veterans had. Um, so there are more, basically there are better investments in the industry now, and it allows for the actors that are very active now, to earn more than the veterans did. And this is what I think we need to begin to pay attention to. Actors' welfare. Actors also need to be very, intentional about their health. It doesn't cost much in our day and time to get a health insurance, for yourself and for your families. It allows for the fact that, if something comes up, the insurance company would get to deal with it. So what I think the actors we have right now, our A-listers, what I think they should do differently from the veterans is to invest more in personal, self-care, in health care, keep a portion of whatever you're earning, to put back into going for tests, to put back into health insurance, do more in terms of basically health management, going for regular checkups, registering with the gym, ensure that you're always keeping fit. Basically, just focused on investing in yourself and in your well-being, and then in the future of that, so that we don't keep having these things reoccurring.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Gosbiti. I'd like to talk a bit about you. In the entire Nollywood thing, you tend to focus more in the sound recording and sound designing. Yes, I had an interview recently with a movie editor, and he said is the king of post-production. What are the roles of sound designers or sound what are the roles of sound men in a movie? What do they do apart from just carrying boom mic, or do they even carry boom mic at all?
Yeah, they do. So the thing is, sound is basically the film. There's basically no even an interview session without having to hear me. If you mute now, you basically lose the value of what the message I'm trying to pass. That is what I would say is the importance of sound engineers, sound recorders, sound designers in the industry. So there's a value chain of that. There's first of all, getting the script, breaking it down for production, um, you know, basically understanding what you would need to be able to properly record the project, and then what we're trying to basically do is ensure that everything that is said, by all the actors on set is properly captured. So this is the first phase, is the recording on set. In that there are different equipments that are being used, from the microphones to the mixers. You talked about the boom mic. There are different types of microphones, the basically mixing device, uh, which you use to mix, collect all of the different mic sources and then mix them together and store basically the footages in a card. When all of that is done, the footages are basically collected by the digitizer, the DIT person, and sent to the editor. Editor gets them, synchronizes them with the picture, and then goes to tell a story with all that has been shot on set, using picture and sound. When that story is told, after the process of editing, there's a process, of sound post production. And in that process, we now come back, on set let's say, sound was recorded, you basically have to clean it up. You basically have to, ensure that one person is not sounding louder than the other. You basically have to ensure that, the mouth is not moving, and then you hear the sound. You basically synchronizing issues.
Yeah.
And then, so that's the process called dialogue editing. You up the audio, ensure that, it's properly mixed, it's on the same level. There's also another phase of sound post-production called sound editing, sound effects editing and design, where you basically have to bring in the sound effects, the land soundscapes. You're at the bus stop, we want to hear the buses passing, you're in the battlefield, we want to hear gunshots, we want to hear all of that. I just use those as like basic examples of what the sound effects editing and design, is about. And then we have the music scoring phase where you basically create moods. Allows it allows for you to basically suggest an emotion, or the emotion of the characters in the scene. So the music scoring, you basically look at the story. Where is the story set? Is it a horror movie? What kind of music score would you put on it? What time is this story set in? Is it, yeah, is it in the 60s or in the 70s? You're not going to use a Burna Boy type of song for that. You basically have to go and look for a vintage sound that you would basically, try to play that will fit the image, suggest the mood, and then match with the timing of the scene. And these are, all of this, you do all of that, and then there's something called the re-recording mixing, or the final mix, where the dialogue, sound effects, and music, are balanced in a way that, the music is not too loud that you're not hearing the dialogue. The sound effects is not basically distracting you, or the music is not distracting you from the story that is being told. And then, you export the audio and send back to the editor. In different formats, basically. That also, like, is a lot. Some people export in stereo, some people export in surround and Atmos, as in the third world, in the first world countries. And basically the editor puts all of that together and exports that mixed sound with the film. So yeah, that's basically, the sound chain for film productions.
Wow. I would have thought all they do is to just carry boom mic, and then the editor will be the one to source for the sound. This is not a question though, but it has been bothering me. Why is it that at times Nollywood movies misuse sound effects? We are just hearing boom 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 boom.
I don't think it's misuse, actually.
You
I
feel
feel
like
like it depends on what is going on as at that time.
for me, I feel like there's burst of sound effect. There are times I'm seeing movie at night and maybe I just dozed off on the couch and then I'm hearing a huge sound.
You're
Maybe
like,
like,
what's
and
going on?
I woke up and I'm just seeing maybe one person walking towards or trying. I'm like, why on earth are you people using this sound effect? Is it done on purpose? So is it done for adrenaline reasons? Because I really do not understand why there's too much sound effect. Because BT, you wanted to say something.
No, do you have anything to say to that?
Yes.
Okay.
I also, I think our industry is at a place where, we need more people that are aware. We don't have as much sound designers or sound post-production people who know what they are doing. We've had many films that sound design is done by editors, and then these guys basically are focused on cutting picture. So they just carry any sound and place on it, without understanding how, sound interprets picture, how it interprets stories, setting, and all of that. Thing is coming up, in this regard, and then more people are getting aware, more producers and directors are getting aware and understanding that, sound is way more than just, putting a sound effect on a scene, just to exaggerate something. It affects every other thing, how a film is perceived. And the more we have more educated sound designers, because the few people, believe me, is really a few people, because it's a niche, a niche skill. It's a specialized skill. So there are really a few people who really know what they're doing. So it's possible, you've had that experience probably because maybe, the person who did the sound design, isn't as knowledgeable. But yes, we're getting to that point.
Okay, so speaking of getting to that point, right, I would like to hear your thoughts on future trends in Nollywood. Given that a whole lot of things have changed and we are in the tech world right now. The other day I was on the road in the traffic and I saw somebody selling CDs, like those cassettes and all. And I'm like, how can you be selling this? Who still buys? Who still use them, right? So I mean, we're in this time and age where and no matter the movie, any movie you want, you actually get it on your phone. So why do I need to get a cassette for that? Same goes to music as well, right? It's not before. It's before. I remember that time where we used to buy Bobo. Do you remember? Oh Sade. I literally had the CD, right? So, but right now you can literally get it anywhere on your phone. So I want to hear your thoughts on how do you see, or where do you see the Nollywood industry to be in the next few years coming?
As we begin to wrap up.
Yes. So what I think is, in the future, future trends and to watch out for in Nollywood. Basically, we should expect, digital distribution and streaming platforms, to grow. We have had Netflix coming, and we've seen how that has impacted, both consumer consumption of films in the industry, and then growth in terms of production, in terms of quality, in terms of investment in the industry. So what we think, what I think is going to happen is there will be, more platforms coming in. Digital distribution will grow. Online streaming will grow. The audience, we will have more people subscribing to these digital platforms because the world has gone digital, and then, I feel like more filmmakers, may bypass traditional distribution channels. Like you said, the CD plate is dying, and then, let's expect that, in the coming years, all of that will fizzle out. Future trends also is improved production quality. Expect more diverse genres. I can tell you for sure, Nigerians are, the new crop of filmmakers are looking to make films that the new generation, the Gen Zs, the millennials, the new generation of aware, Nigerian audience would really love to enjoy. So you're looking at crime thrillers, you're looking at action, as against drama that we've been known for. Expect more horror, expect more exciting stuff. Another thing to expect is global collaborations, international co-productions. So, already we've had, Muambudu partner with Idris Elba to come direct a short film in Nigeria.
Yes.
We've seen, what that has done. So, what I'm saying is, expect more of that, because one of the goals that we have in the production company that I co-formed, and then we shot our first feature film at the end of last year, which will be coming out soon. It's a crime thriller, and then it's something to watch out for. One of the things that we are shooting for is to make films that beyond the shores of Africa will be globally appreciated and accepted. So what it means is, to be able to go global, like we said, international co-productions, participation in international film festivals, all of these things, would basically improve, would basically increase, and then, it would help, create films with broader appeal and higher production values. Marketing strategies, I'm also going to talk about that, because I feel like Fulke has set the pace, but there's a lot more that we can do. So social media influencing, celebrity endorsements, expect more in terms of Nollywood films, from the marketing angle. You'd begin to see, a lot more versatile marketing from producers, from actors alike. yes, visual reality, augmented reality is another angle that I feel like we've not really, explored as much. I know of a friend, a filmmaker friend, Kachi Benson, who has focused on telling, visual reality stories through documentaries. We've not really, as much as a country and as a continent, entered into the visual reality and augmented reality as much, but that is also, something to look out for. Um, yeah, the other angle is blockchain and NFTs. Blockchain is a technology that the whole world has accepted, and incorporating all of that into filmmaking. How do you, develop NFTs and selling, your content, your film as an NFT token, um, and then shares of that, to investors, having, even the viewers own shares of your films. These are things that are innovative financing technologies, and then that filmmakers are beginning to be aware of, and basically would impact how film is being film investment is being done. It would impact how film is being consumed. We talk about the metaverse. What would it be like to make a film for the metaverse? All of that are things that we should expect. Yeah, there's also the talent development programs. We've had film schools right now, cropping out. There's a multi-choice talent factory, there's Ebony Life Academy, there's CAP Academy, and then the likes. So we should also, expect for um, more of that in, talent development programs. Um, yeah, I think these are like some of the areas that I think, Nollywood future trends, would impact.
Thank you very much, Minione. This is the very much we can take on today's show. Thank you very much for taking your time to enlighten us and to educate us on the behind the scene dynamics going on in the Nollywood industry. I would have loved to ask a question, but I guess there'll be a next time for that. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you very much.
All right, if you are yet to tune in to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV, do that now, share and like to families and friends. God's beauty, thank you very much
Thank
for
you very
today,
much
and happy
for
birthday
having
to
me.
you in advance. This is the very much you can take on the show today too. We'll come your way again tomorrow morning. Bye for now.